Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Unification casts this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 3 versus 3 on Constellation. Playing for the Death Korps Krieg, we have got Eri 7889, we've got Waffle Stomper 55, and we've got Kubini. And playing for the Tyranids, we've got Vrax, we've got Kaiku, and we have got Necrotechnica. This match is doubly exciting, considering that it is a faction war, and it is also in Constellation, which is a map that is normally reserved for 7-player free-for-alls. I mean, we've got 6 players across the map, but normally in the centre of the map is also a player as well. There's only 2 ways of getting in, but this map has been modified, so there's several ways to get involved. There's plenty of juicy bits on the inside. There's double strategic points, double relics, and also a critical location, so whoever holds the centre controls the game, essentially, especially as well, because if you control this area, you've got access to contesting these little strategic points in the centre of the map. There's also critical locations akimbo across the map, as well as a couple of slag deposits, so plenty of resources to fight over, and big armies potentially for both factions here. Death Korps Krieg will probably have an advantage in the beginning of the game if they get their bunkers down, which we are seeing Waffle Stomper throwing down one over on this side. I imagine we'll also maybe seeing some in these critical locations, or at least in these choke points around here. The Tyranids will have a difficult time at the beginning of the game, but as the game progresses, the Tyranids should be getting an advantage, considering that they will be able to throw down a couple of hive spires, be able to get their economy really, really quickly on the go. And yeah, I mean, the Death Korps Krieg in Tier 2 they should be doing quite well with their, or what they call their heavy weapon platoons. I don't know how they'll fare against Tyranids in Tier 3, especially when they get their big bugs online. Got some Gene Stealers coming over from Vrax, going to try and bother Kubini with his engineers. But I imagine these guys will be able to get their bunk up quite nicely. Got the, oh, what's your name? The Broodlord coming over, trying to ignore these engineers and punching the bunker. Really got to focus on the builders. There we go, managing to scare these guys away. Do have the Lord General's command squad going for a couple of veteran bodyguards with the ranged options. These guys are just going to run around in circles, saying, please don't kill us. We're just engineers. We're not using our shovels for war. We're just using them for peace in the form of our building. And can they get it done? They do manage to get it done. Going to hide inside the bunker. So that area is going to be firmly within the grasp of the Death Korps Krieg for the moment. Over on this side, though, the Tyranids are moving forward with some spine gaunts, scaring away these Jaegers. Also the Broodlord sorting out this other squad of Jaegers as well. So very nice stuff. So even Stevens on the left and right hand side of the map, but the centre is going to be very hard for the Tyranids to shake off at the moment. They have already built down a bunker and have got the Lord General to slice down a couple of Tyranids, although a Lictor, ideal target for annihilating commanders, considering that it is good against commanders and demons, believe it or not. Not sure if that is law accurate, but that's fine, because Tyranids do need some sort of demon, anti-demon weaponry, which I think, that, as far as I'm aware, I think the Lictors is one of a few. I don't think the Tyranids have many anti-demon armor stuff going on for them. Lord General being engaged in close combat by some Gene Stealers, not where he wants to be, losing all his friends. There's a second Lictor incoming, so very nice stuff. Tyranids now moving around to the centre. We've got some of Eri's boys coming over to defend. Yeah, the bunker is going to cause these guys some real issues, especially as well because I do believe that it slows people down as well. There's like a little slowing down mechanic for them, I think. Or am I getting my mods mixed up? Oh, not yet. It looks like they're slowing them down. Well done, me. I know some stuff about this game. Not much stuff, but I know a couple bits. Got some Termagants. Don't normally see these guys for Tyranids, but I imagine that they will be quite useful for them in this kind of matchup. Got some guys to chase around the Jaegers and the soldiers, while the Termagants provide some firing support, making sure that these guys stay on the move as often as possible. Also plenty of spore mines as well to throw down to disrupt the formations, killing a fair few. I almost get squad wiped there. The soldier surviving with just 4 health. But he's going to stay there. All the same. Oh no, never mind, there's more spore mines. Oh, he survives. What an absolute hero. Gene Stealers and Spine Gaunts continuing to push into Eri's base. We are seeing some more soldiers from him and a quick tier 2. So that will be an issue for these Tyranids. They won't be surviving this engagement for very long if those heavy weapon teams come out, because they've got plenty of soldiers knocking around, well, plenty of Jaegers knocking around. But those spore mines are being a real nuisance for the Death Korps Krieg here. Seeming to do a lot of damage, so going to constantly keep these guys on the move to prevent the spore mine from going off in the centre of the formations for them. Box centre for Kubini for upgrades and whatnot. As the Termagants and the Broodlord march on forward. And that's exactly what the... well, not Tyranids. Oh, dear. They're playing far too much Helldivers 2 recently. That's exactly what the Tyranids need to do. Need to charge in and be as aggressive as humanly possible. Need to prevent the Death Korps Krieg from building up their own economy while building up themselves. It's been scared away by the engineers, who seem to have got some sort of flare gun on the go. Kingston is being chased away by them. So yeah, no one's shaking these Death Korps off this side, and now they're just going to try and slowly expand down the middle with their bunkers. Got to make sure they don't spend too much money on your bunkers there, as they will be a little bit useless as the game progresses. But, you know, everything in moderation, as my old ma used to say. Just constant spore mines from Vrax here. That does seem to slow these guys down as well. Broodlord just giving these guys a big squeeze before throwing them around. Jaegers trying to use their smoke bombs to make themselves infiltrated. But that's not going to stop the Broodlord from doing what he does best. Down over on the left-hand side, we've got a whole smorgasbord of spine gaunts. So these guys aren't going to be winning any prizes for the damage that they output. They do die very, very quickly, but they are extremely cheap. Well, I mean, they reinforce with 10 blue. You can have a whole load of them. So I assume Necrotechnica is... yeah, there we go. You've got tier 2 at the moment, so you'll be probably looking for something more substantial. Oh, no, you're going for Gaunt Acclimatization. So I'm just building up all your little ones to maximum effectiveness. Probably will want to see some counter effects just to break through those bunkers, as we are seeing one being placed right outside his base. Down his choke point as well. On the right-hand side, Vrax keeping that aggression, keeping the critical location as contested as humanly possible. Lord General throwing as much plasma as he can towards the Terminator. Ah, they're not Terminids, they're Termagants. Good lord. That's what you get for trying to play video games in your spare time for fun. Your brain goes a little bit doolally. Well, you know what? I assume that Death Korps Krieg would want to probably fight for managed democracy if that was a thing in the Imperium. No democracy though. It's all the Emperor, all day long, every day. Every weapons platoon is out with a autocannon in their ranks. Now, when you stick these guys in the bunker, do they fire with their regular weapons? Or is it like the Imperial Guard, where no matter who you stick inside a building, they just fire the same weapons? Who knows, really? Not me. Certainly not me. A little bit quiet at the moment. Let's have a look at the economies really quickly while everything's nice and chill. 89 and 89 and 82. God, Lord. Quite similar numbers there. Quite impressive there. And 92 and 30. 122 and 50 and 85 and 30. So no major economies for either factions at the moment. I suppose there's been a lot of fighting for the resources in the middle. Death Korps Krieg currently have the map control at the moment. Lady Inquisitor for Corbini. Going to see what she can do. It does seem that the numbers for Death Korps Krieg on the right-hand side are faltering somewhat. And here we go, a big mass of Spine Gaunts and Termagants for the Tyranids of Necrotechnica. Spore mine's been thrown down, and there is not enough DPS for Eri here to be able to take on the sheer mass of bugs coming for them. Also got a good engagement going on in the centre with some warriors and lictors. So Chaff on the left, Elite on the right. Also got some Biovors firing in as well. These guys, I mean, have you gone for... they've not gone for your bio-acid spore mines, but straight up oppressive DPS against infantry for them. This whole squad of infantry down here being cut down to ribbons. Unable to push through due to this bunker there. So they're deciding to go around, I assume, down the middle, where they've got some support from Zone Throps as well. Oh no, they're just going to fall back. Oh right, I see, it's because they've got some Storm Chimeras coming down here. Got to make sure that their ally doesn't get taken down. It's a defensive manoeuvre from the Tyranid players. That's a lot of armour for the little ones to break through. Also plenty of reclamation pools for them to smash up. Now, who have you got inside your payload? Mr. Kubini, who's planning to come out and say hello to the Tyranids? Biovor's been scared away, although one manages to survive. But that's a lot of little boys to come through. Also got some Zone Throps as well. Should be able to snipe out these Storm Chimeras quick as you like. They're quite fragile themselves. Don't normally like being on the front lines in this kind of manner. One Storm Chimera goes down. And it's just a couple of Jaegers. So these guys are not going to be surviving anytime soon. Spore mines blowing them up. A third Storm Chimera coming down to see what's what. One zone for left over. 50 blue to reinforce. So actually the same cost as a Space Marine, so quite cheap for what they bring to the table. Second squad of zone folks coming out as well. So nice assault from the Death Korps Krieg, but not nearly enough to be able to take on the Tyranids at this stage of the game. Would have been quite useful if they were full of heavy weapon support teams rather than just regular old Jaegers, which they can then bring down the reclamation pools. As that is essentially what you need to focus on for the Tyranids, because this is where they get the majority of their... is it where they get... no, it's where they get... So, not familiar with how Tyranids work. They've got influence, and they basically get... Now, is it influence they get from the... It's from the spore chimneys, isn't it? Or is it from the reclamation pools? Either way, they get blue money from one and reclamation from the other, and you don't want the Tyranids to get too much of either, so you need to make sure they keep the spore chimneys on the lowdown and to make sure that the reclamation pools don't get too obnoxiously copious? Is that the word? Numerous, that's the word I'm thinking of. And there's plenty of reclamation pools across the battlefield at the moment, so definitely need to make sure that they are not expanding too much. Otherwise, then they've just basically got infinite money. And don't get me wrong, the Death Korps Krieg are very, very strong in the current version of Unification. But not so strong that they can just infinitely destroy Tyranids over and over again. But Vendetta coming out, very, very strong aircraft. Swiftly taking care of the zone threats. But like all aircraft, can't take too much damage. Bunker's been taken out in the middle section. Tyranids now swarming over. So it does look like that the space bugs will be able to be contesting and potentially taking the entirety of the centre of the map here. Also got the zone threats, putting pressure on Kubini on the right-hand side. Kubini going to go for some grenade launchers. So hopefully take these guys out. After all, these zone threats are only heavy infantry. So that is something. But more Storm Chimeras coming out for these guys. As the Termagants, Warriors, and all manner of nasty pasties push right into the top of the centre. And this Lord General's command squad ain't going to be living for very long. Blown up en masse by the Biovores. As the Warriors just have for some reason really fascinated by the wall here. I imagine that Tyranids probably really like a good snowy planet. As there's plenty of snow, so more water for them to collect. Zone Throps pushing once again on the right hand side. Just making sure that those Storm Chimera numbers aren't too numerous. After all, if the Death Korps Krieg get a mass of vehicular nonsense, that will be quite difficult for them to take out, considering that the majority of the forces here aren't exactly made for taking out buildings. Also got a capillary tower in the centre, which is great for expanding the Tyranids' influence, as well as just being a general good thing for Tyranids to be nearby, especially if they've got no synapse people near them, I do believe. These zone folks and warriors just casually ignoring all the incoming damage here, more or less. Got plenty of other lads to come forward as well. Biovores being a real boon to the Tyranids as well. Yeah, they definitely need some more aircraft to be able to go around the flanks and take these guys on, as that is probably what's going to be killing most of the infantry from this point onwards. Storm Chimera from Waffle Stomper. Bringing forth, there we go. The old Death Korps Krieg special. Able to manoeuvre their heavy weapons platoons very swiftly and nimbly using their Storm Chimeras. But look at the range on these guys. Able to hide quite nicely behind the mountain and do all their shenanigans from a distance. What boys over here? Oh, there's Vendettas. Vendettas are doing nonsense. Oh, but mind you, even if they have killed a lot of reclamation pools, there's still plenty more where they came from. Got Carnifex coming over with a Venom cannon. Now, it will all depend on whether the Vendettas decide to keep on over here or whether they're just going to ignore them and go somewhere else, because they will be able to quite aptly outmaneuver this Carnifex. Plenty more where they came from. Also got a Trigon Warren with like Hierophants incoming. So big Titan units on the way. And yeah, these reclamations are going to be really quick to replace, as I assume the Tyranids have got $1 million money at the moment. We've got 700 for Brax. We've got, yeah, about 600 for, yeah, oh, we've got $1 million money for Necrotechnica as well, so plenty of money for the Tyranids, so no worries whatsoever in replacing any of their lost stuff. Storm Chimera attempting to do some nonsense. On the right-hand side, got a Hive Tyrant coming over to sort them out there. Yeah, the Vendettas, they can kill as many of these reclamations as they want, but it's being replaced more or less instantly. And they're quite quick to build as well. I do quite like this massive Termagants. Barely doing any damage. That's fine. That's fine for them. I imagine that for the Deathcore Krieg, probably what they really want to be focusing on at the moment is just depriving the Tyranids of any kind of map area. I mean, they've got the critical locations that they could be focusing on. After all, if they stop the critical locations, they will then prevent the Tyranids from recruiting their biggest and baddest of units. Also will need them for their own nefarious deeds as well. Tyranids now pushing forward into the centre of the Deathcore Krieg formation. Ah, I like that. Got some counter artillery, which will be very good for destroying a lot of this infantry, as the warriors are only technically infantry, so they should be quite easily dispatched by the basilisks. Whether they're able to hold the line and prevent the Tyranids from taking on their basilisks, I don't quite know. Well, the basilisks do have access to a pintle heavy stubber, which means that they're not totally useless on the front lines, but tend to want to really avoid that kind of stuff. Got a good influx of soldiers charging down from the left-hand side. Also got a good amount of Vendettas as well. So I think the Tyranids over here are a little bit outmatched. Not nearly as numerous as they would like to be. Also, oh, quite nice shot. Killing all those Biovores in one singular strike. I don't know whether that was a regular attack or whether that was a special artillery shell. Either way, very powerful is the Deathcore Krieg artillery. And we're going to certainly need the... Oh dear, my frame rate. Can I... There we go. If I zoom in a little bit and tilt the camera, still see just as much, but maybe have more than 5 frames. Yeah, this swarm is ideal targets for the basilisks. As they come forward, we are seeing some Carnifexes on the right-hand side. And it's going to be quite a tight squeeze for the Tyranids here. Seeing lots of flamey bits coming down from the artillery. Zone Thrups, well, quite low in number at the moment. And it's going to be... I mean, oh, yeah, they're going to be getting through here anytime soon. They had a lot of Tyranids, and now they don't have a lot of Tyranids. And they all died in glorious hellfire. Carnifexes that aren't going to be even slightly bothered by a lot of this incoming fire. Double Carnifexes using their venom cannons. Who are you firing at? Can't quite tell. Are you firing at? Oh, the Lord General Squad. It's not really what you want to be focusing on. Those big cannons. It's the big tanks they want to be taking on. The longest of range, apparently, on these cannons. But it should really be taking down these vehicles a lot quicker. Now that they've got Zone Thrup support, should be alright. Over on this side, the Hierophant making its way inside of Ares' base. Plenty of Tyranids to follow up as well. As the auto cannons of the heavy weapons platoons try and do their best. Got a bombard over here. Shorter range, bigger boom. Whether it's able to take on all these bloody Carnifexes. Special World One Eye coming along. A bigger, badder Carnifex with an incredible health regen ability. Yeah, this is dark tidings for every side of the map. Basilisks are over here, trying to cover both sides. In fact, we've got triple Basilisks, so they should be able to wipe out a lot of stuff. Vendettas coming forward. A Teleportarium and a Lucius Pattern Command. I mean, Evi's got plenty of blue money to play with, but he's not got enough green. Not nearly enough green to be able to bring those Tyranids down. Although in saying that, all the little ones have been taken care of. Old One Eye seems to have been focused down as well. Oh no, man, you're just being camouflaged against the assembly plant. Hierophant attempting to bring down the field headquarters. And it's been slowly whittled down by the massive fire from the soldiers here. You have a Malcador and Old One Eye going toe to toe. Old One Eye is soon to be Old Dead Eye. Hierophant falls back a little bit, waiting for some reinforcements to come forward. And Hierophant's got some quite powerful guns on it, although seeming to struggle to bring down the Vendetta with significant swiftness. Got some Valkyrie fire on top of the Hierophant, not doing that much damage. But Little One's been taken care of quite quickly. Pink, well not pink, purple Icor spreading across the map. The Hierophant has to fall back, tail in between its legs. But a much better scenario going over on the right hand side for the Tyranids, as Brax and his Carnifexes are absolutely destroying Hubini's base on this side. So the Death Korps Krieg now to quickly come over here to reinforce them. Waffle Stomper bringing forth a Malcador and a Vendetta as well. I mean, a Malcador is just basically like a super duper Lehman Russ. A bit longer as well. Not sure if that has any tactical advantages, but it's aesthetically pleasing all the same. Yeah, second Malcador coming down, upgrading itself with a battle cannon. Just a sheer amount of Carnifexes here. Hubini going to attempt to build up another assembly plant, see if he can take those guys back to their side of the map. Hierophant, yeah, it's a big model, does a lot of damage, but seeming to struggle against masses of infantry, really. All good when you can slam down other tanks and other relic units, but it's not really winning the engagement over there, surprisingly. It does seem as well that the Death Korps Krieg are managing to hold their own on the right hand side. You have a very flaccid magma vent manifesting itself as the Carnifex comes over, sees what it could do against the bunker that's trying to be built up. Oh my goodness, is this Sweden? Is that the map for Sweden? I don't know. We left the EU a while ago, so my knowledge of EU flags is non-existent. Is Sweden part of the EU? Or is that Switzerland? I don't know. Either way, it's a flag, some description, and they're attempting to bring down Old One Eye, but they're not getting him down too quickly. It's going to charge in, slap people around. Hierophant now changing its direction over into the middle. Maybe if it can distract all these basilisks, they can. Oh dear, oh dear. A little bit of frame stutter there. Yeah, if it can distract all these guys to give the Little One some space to move forward. There has a lot of artillery. The Commissariat Lehman Russ with its flamer as well will be a real issue for them. Going to get some plasma cannons. The Hierophant been whittled down to very low health at the moment, been surrounded by mines as well. No good for him. Old One Eye still alive as he trundles his way inside the base. Got a Trigon as well from Kaiku. Another relic unit for the Tyranids, and he's on basilisk hunting duty, which is exactly what you want from him, as that is what's stopping the Tyranids from doing most of their pushing forward. It just seems like there's a constant swarm on the left hand side, but plenty of firepower to take them on. Also got a gun turret emplacement. It's a mighty fine defensive structure, all things considered. We've got more Vendettas, limited to, can't have too many of them. Not seeing any big buildings or big tanks from either of the Death Korps Krieg players at the moment. So it's swarming over everything. Infantry dying en masse as the Commissariat Lehman Russ tries to reposition himself. Hierophant very low on health at the moment. And it looks like the Trigon has been destroyed. Still got one Bastards left with 18 health. Very unfortunate. Oh, Vendetta just absolutely having a whale of a time. Very proud of himself, I imagine. Pulling off sick maneuvers in the air. And it looks a bit desperate for the Death Korps Krieg, but they're actually in a good position at the moment. We've got the centres being held. Hierophant is low on health at the moment. And they've still got plenty of infantry left. And you've still got to take care of the ground effects, but it's not the end of the world for them. Over here, warriors are munching their way through the assembly plants. And it does seem that the Death Korps Krieg are now stabilising after quite a robust assault from the Tyranids. And what they just essentially need to do now at this point is just continue taking up, continue making sure that their green money is as healthy as their blue money, and then just basically get the big tanks out. I mean, what they've got access to Zeppelins, which are, I mean, the Zeppelins will probably be quite remarkable against the Tyranids if you want to avoid the close combat damage of the Carnifexes. They've also got a, oh, is it a Minotaur, which is like a really impressive piece of artillery. So yeah, plenty of big boomy bits for them to make use of. Tyranids, I wonder if a massive, highly upgraded Gene Stealers might be a play for them. As with Gene Stealers, you can upgrade them so that they're infiltrated, do incredible amounts of damage towards basically more or less everything. We've seen before on the channel how some sneaky Tyranids can come forward and just basically wipe out entire bases very quickly, and in fact, that's exactly what I think we're seeing Vrax do here. Trigon coming from the ground, munching its way through the Vox Centre. Feel really bad for Kabini over here. It's been a desperate struggle for him. He's been holding on quite remarkably throughout the entirety of this game. But clearly Vrax has got a personal vendetta, if you pardon the pun, now with him since he invaded his base with the Storm Chimeras. So might need to rebuild somewhere else. In fact, have you already rebuilt somewhere else? No, you haven't. Let's keep our eye on the mini-map to see if any green bits pop up anywhere else. But the left-hand flank has now been secured. The critical location has been taken by Eri. So are we seeing anything substantial? Not at the moment. We could really do with it. Really do with it indeed. Dragon slicing through the field command as the Gene Stealers do what they can. Got a Hierophant, which is just ridiculously swift for a Titan unit. Maybe not as tanky as a Titan or anything like that, but certainly got that movement on the go. I mean, it's kind of gliding through the air. That's alright. We're not animation puritans here on the Mr. Landshark channel. These Termagants just constantly coming out. Don't seem to really be doing much there. Need to be supported by bigger and badder Tyranids, as they kind of just melt to the Death Korps Krieg family. And I do quite like how Eri's got some lads on this little ridge here to prevent anyone from just jumping on top of their faces. But death and sadness for the Tyranids. Parent, Hierophant, showing the boys the badness. So Malkador gets in its way. Plenty of heavy weapons platoons there, doing what they can. And they're doing quite a lot of damage to him. It's got a lot of health. Oh well, now they're not, because the Raveners are coming around the flanks. Trying to build a field headquarters down here as it has been taken offline. Bombards on the way. Still no huge weaponry from the Death Korps Krieg. What kind of economy are you dealing with at the moment? So Eri's got the money for something big and proper. And Wafflestomp, he's just got green money for days. And incoming Lucius Pattern Baneblade. That should hopefully help them hold the line. Got plenty of Gontai Broodhives been thrown down by Vrax here. Which might sound like a bit of a cheeky maneuver, but the real value in this is that if they manage to build these guys up, they can just spam infantry straight inside the Death Korps Krieg's base. Will be a major problem for them. Gene Stealers attempting to slice down the field headquarters, but seeming to have not much luck of this. And here comes a counter-offensive from Eri. He's going to take on the bombards of his infantry as quick as he can. Once that artillery is down, I'll give the Death Korps Krieg a little bit more breathing room. Double Vendettas firing as best they can against the Hierophant. Hierophant is on low health at the moment. Lucy's pattern 51% from being completed. Player's been defeated. Sadly, the right hand side Death Korps Krieg player has been taken down by his infiltrated Gene Stealers. Not sure if the remaining Death Korps Krieg players realise that the Gene Stealers are knocking around the bases. Hierophant has gone down. Now going to take care of these Gauntai brood hives. Just more Hierophants, more Spine Gaunts. That's what Tyranids are known for. You kill one, they're replaced by many. But the Death Korps now slowly but surely ranking up or increasing the amount of the bigger boomers. Got a small fleet of Vendettas. A couple of tanks as well. Commissariat Lehman Russ is taken down by a Hierophant. Got massive Gene Stealers coming over on this side. Oh dear, the Lucy's Pattern Baneblade has been squad capped here. So Wafflestopper will need to lose a tank if he wants to have that tank see the light of day. And potentially lose a couple of stuff in this engagement there. The Hierophant is just ignoring a lot of the incoming damage here. There we go, Lucy's Pattern Baneblade. And I don't know if you can hear that music in the background. But the Baneblade seems to sing here, which is quite nice. Quite like that. If I'd been covered in nuclear badness, by the looks of things, which, as you know, as environmentally diverse as the Tyranids are, they probably don't like a nuclear winter. I have time with his big wings incoming. And taking all victory for Team 2, which is Tyranids, is on the go. They've managed to capture all this space over here. So not only do the Death Korps Krieg have to kill the Tyranids, they also have to defend and retake a lot of the map. Here goes the Baneblade, blowing things up left and right. Only taking a fair bit of damage. They're surrounded by zone traps as well. Yeah, it's in a bad situation. Death Korps Krieg low in number at the moment. He's going to fall back. Might be an idea to bring some engineers along with him. As the one advantage that the Death Korps Krieg have over the Tyranids endgame units is that they can be repaired mid-battle, whereas the Hierophant can only really rely on its health regeneration. So that's something to take into consideration. Are we seeing any big boys from Eri? No, not at the moment. Not at the moment. Trench Raiders, oh dear. Being shot by just the biggest things you could ever see. They're like, hang on, we were meant to be raiding trenches, not going up against literal titans. Zone Throps alone in this world, being deaded. But no, they're just... Oh, because they've got an ability where they're able to ignore incoming damage when they've got one health left for a little while. Much like fighting juice for the Orcs. But they die eventually, as all things do. And here comes the push on the left-hand side. Also the Gene Stealers from Kaiku. Yeah, the Gene Stealers are just probably going to be the kingmakers in this engagement. Able to rip through buildings at this point very quickly now. Being able to move under the noses of the Death Korps Krieg. Be focusing on all these big things, not really concentrating on their flanks at the moment. Lehman Russ attempting to do what it can. That's a lot of venom cannons from the Carnifexes. Listening posts been taken down on the front lines of Eri's base. And it's going to be a desperate last stand here, I reckon. Don't think there's much else that the Death Korps Krieg can do. Wonderful idea of the artillery. Wonderful idea with the initial aggressive defensive posture they had of putting the bunkers at the front. Not really transitioning into the late game as well as the Tyranids. Could have really done with with some of their later tier units. Wonderful concave of spine gaunts on the Commissariat Lehman Russ. Been taken out. Also the gun emplacements as well. Baneblade doesn't seem to really be making that much of an impact in this fight at the moment. Also, he seems to be just turning against his own allies here for whatever reason. I just thought, right, that's it. Maybe if I just pretend to be on their side, or maybe it's been occupied by a hive-minded, what are they called? Gene Stealer cults, that's what they're called. Because Tyranids do have an ability where they're able to take control of an enemy unit for a little while. Did not know that it works on vehicles, though. There we go. That's probably, he says, all she wrote. Do quite like the utter surround on that Baneblade there. It was going nowhere anytime soon. Gene Stealers now just en masse, eating their way through anything and everything. But yeah, very competent play from both teams. Tyranids just weathering out the natural high peaks of the Death Korps Krieg's strength. Then wait till they get to that late game, and you can probably see on the map if I zoom out a bit. I mean, that just look at the intensity of all that green there. They are spread thick and fast throughout the battlefield. Vendettas were a nice try at trying to curtail their spread, but not nearly enough to be able to keep those reclamation pools on the lowdown. So not sure what else the Death Korps Krieg could have really done to keep those down. Unless, of course, they got a couple of Storm Chimeras packed to the brim with heavy weapons teams, and then, I don't know, like, snaked them down the side of the map, past all the defences, and just sat in the middle of the map. But even then, they turned into loads of people inside the base, so quite a difficult situation for the Death Korps Krieg in that regard. So yeah, thank you so much, boys, for sending in this game. If you like the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you once a game a week. And there is also a Discord, where Discord things happen. Links in the descriptions as always. As been Mr. Landshark, pleasure as always, never chart. And I'll see you in a bit. Peace.